Hello, my needle drops. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest, stuffiest, tiredest music nerd. Going to kind of statement, question, thing. This whole video was kind of brought on by an album I was listening for a review, the new Pestilence Noir album. These guys are a French black metal band, and this is what the album cover looks like. I gave this thing several listens through, all the way through. It's about an hour-long album, some pretty long tracks on here. One that's about 20 minutes. And I gotta say, this is one of the most interesting and ambitious black metal albums I've heard this year. It's creative, it's fun, it takes a ton of risks. So, of course, I had to do research on the LP. I pretty much already decided sonically that I liked it. Everything about this album is in French, so head over to translate some of the lyrics, do some background on the band, on the internet too. And on this record, and in the band's past releases, of course, in the lyrics, I just kind of discover that there are hints of like racialism in here, as well as sexism and nationalism. And you know what, I've dealt with stuff like this in the past, like on that new Burzum album, and what I think this ultimately comes down to is just me not liking the message of this album. But I really think this goes beyond racism, especially in just black metal music. There have been plenty of albums and artists who, over the past couple years, I think have made some decent or different and unique or somewhat interesting music, but I just think their message is kind of boring, kind of flat, just doesn't resonate with me at all. I can think of the new Childish Gambino album. Obviously, even though I kind of appreciate the technical ability that is shown on this album and that some of the beats are pretty good, the message is ultimately what really makes me recoil from it. And the thing is, there are some artists out there who make music with a message that I don't really vibe with all that much, but I manage to enjoy their music. I sort of tolerate the message, it just kind of buries itself into the back of my head because I don't see it as a huge deal, I guess. Even though Kanye West can come off like a jerk and really conceited in a lot of his music, I can appreciate his songs. And even though I'm not really big on the endorsement of drugs, especially like cough syrup on the new A$AP Rocky album, I really enjoy the sound of that LP. The statements don't even need to be sexist or racist, but merely something you don't agree with. And once you've made the discovery that you don't agree with what the intention of the music is that you're listening to, what do you do? I understand out there that somebody may make a comment that is racist or sexist or endorsing a drug-consuming lifestyle to the point where it's extremely unhealthy for the sake of joke, a satire, parody, shock value, or even to kind of tell a story. I feel like there's a difference between that and endorsing a lifestyle, endorsing an ideology. To say a piece of music is bad because of its message, specifically a message you don't agree with, does that make you closed-minded? Because in the case of the album that kind of got me thinking about this, I've already acknowledged that I like the way this sounds. Part of me feels like the message to a song is very separable from a song, and whether or not we tolerate something that is said in a piece of music or sung is kind of a personal decision we all have to make, and might not be the worst thing in the world. Ultimately, what's offensive is the message and only the message, because it's not like the music is what's offensive. It's not like you can have a sexist drum beat or a racist bass line. But then again, I feel like music and message are so tightly knit that you really can't pull them that far apart, especially since music is vital to our culture when it comes to communicating our current ideas and feelings. A lot of people are looking to express something. They find music to be the perfect platform for that, and if they didn't have this thing that they want to communicate, the music may not have been made. Has the message an artist is trying to communicate ever ruined an entire album for you? There are plenty of records whose messages have affected me in positive ways, to the point where I'm praising the album, I'm loving the album. Is it so wrong for the message to, I guess, kind of turn me off and put me in the other direction? When we find out an artist is putting forth an idea that we really strongly disagree with, are we doing the right thing by avoiding their music? Are we doing the right thing by refusing to endorse it? And what about someone who's in my position? In every review, do I have to throw in a footnote that says Anthony Fantano does not necessarily endorse the ideology of the artist whose music he is reviewing in this review? What do you think? Because I'm torn and confused. Let me know. Anthony Fantano. Morality forever.